So our next faculty member is Dr. Mohinder Silaria, Associate Professor, Government College, Champa, India. So please you present on climate change and food security in mountains. Please turn on your mic, cam on, and share your screen. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Am I audible?
Yes, audible, loud and
Yes.
clear.
Okay,
Please go
thank
ahead.
you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, with utmost honesty, I am Dr. R.K. Kais, Professor Satish Sharma ji, Professor Monga ji, student Mohinder Slaria, is before you all to present my understanding on climate change and food security in mountains. The presentation is actually based on the secondary as well as the primary data collected during my postdoc task 3 completed in 2015 as a fellow of Finnish Science Academy from University of Turku, Finland. My understanding will be based on some field-based observation also. So slide is moving or not?
No, not moving, sir.
Moving.
And there is some also
Is moving
eco
now?
problem also.
Is moving now?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I want to share with you the difference between a very uh, basic questions. What is the difference between climate and weather? Climate is just a long-term area, seasonal changes and measure over a long span of time. What weather is very short-term, limited area observations, and in other words, we can say weather is just what is happening outside of my window or your window. So as far as this climate change meaning is concerned, it is again refer to long-term changes in weather conducting, including average temperatures and precipitations, and then identifiable change in the climate of Earth as a whole that lasts for an extended period of time, decades or longer. Climate change evidence through global warming. Before 1980, the term global warming and climate change were not much known to the world. Global warming became the most popular term after NASA climate scientist James Hansen used it for the first time in 1988 as a testimony in the US Senate. In 2000, the terms climate change increased in popularity. The global warming refers to the effect of these greenhouse gases and natural as well as the anthropogenic changes. And these two terms are oftenly used interchangeably. If we see, there is a over the past a picture of over past 200 years of climate change, which is showing the climate of Earth is changing for many regions, and anthropogenic changes are the most important one. If we can say there are a lot of changes which are visible in these images, and on the basis of these changes, we can say it is a reality now. And the evidences of this global warming can be seen in form of this rise in temperature. The global surface temperatures reconstructions over the last 2000 years by using proxy data from T-rings, coral, and the ice cores in blue on the left side, and directly observations and data in red on the below on this right. So it shows the slide shows for data this NASA as well as this proxy data. So the climate system is warming and 2011 and 20. 2020 decade recorded 1.09 degrees centigrade warmer than the pre-industrial baseline, that is considered 1850 to 919. Surface temperatures are rising by about 0.2 degrees centigrade per decade and reached above 1.2 degrees centigrade 2020, which is the above pre-industrial base. Since 1950, the number of cold days and nights has increased, and the number of warm days and nights has also increased. So, because of this, there are so many challenges which this Mother Earth as well as we all are facing, and it can be the challenge will have to drastic impact effect on the natural environment, plants, animals, and leading to the acceleration in biodiversity within some area. The impact will have knock-on impact on many communities, sectors that depends on natural resources, including agriculture, food security, fisheries, energy, tourism, and water. And on right side, you can see some amazing fact about this 21st century. And the main emphasis in this presentation will be on climate change and food security in the mountains. So, as far as the concept of food security is concerned, according to Food Agriculture Organization, food security exists when all peoples of the world at all time have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, nutritious food, which meets their dietary need and food preferences for an active and healthy life. So these are the three most important aspects of food security. And on the basis of three most aspect of food security, the main pillars of food security can be considered uh, as per the 2009 World Summit on Food Security: availability, accessibility, utilization, and stability. Stability means here governance. That matters a lot. If we have three earlier pillars, what we don't have this governance, then it has no value. So it means a lot. All are coming together. That's why it's known as pillars. So toward the global food security governance, the main concern, and food security can be ensured by any country only if enough food is available for all persons, all populations of that very country. All persons have the capacity to buy the food of acceptable quality, and there is no barrier on access to food. And food security is needed for following regions. You can see in big there are small kids who are standing in queue, and they're just getting some food. Maybe in form of mid day meal in India. And in another slide, you can see the drought prone area where this group has been affected totally. So it's needed for poor section of society, natural disaster and calamity like earthquake, drought, flood, and tsunami, and widespread crop failures due to drought. So, current status and challenge of food security, which we are facing today, nearly 800 million people across the world, across the globe, go to bed hungry every night to meet the speed. Our world population expected to reach 9 billion by 2050, which is a great threat, big threat in coming time. And agricultural production will need to increase at least 60% at present rate. So, challenges to food security are presently this global water crisis, land degradation is there, climate change, agriculture diseases, food sovereignty, and risk to food security are population growth and fossil fuel dependence, homogeneity in global food supply, price setting, land use change, and global catastrophic risk. So, if we see the index of food hunger index, then there is a reverse concept of global food insecurity, just opposite to food security. It refers to the lack of availability and access to enough food, good, healthy, and culturally appropriate food. Food secure groups are landless people, traditional artisan, this traditional service provider, petty self-employed worker, homeless people, and families employed in ill-paid occupation and casual labor, that is seasonal labor. If you see the World Hunger Index, in on that index, India, my country, is at the worst place and ranking is with the Redding after China. So this totally presentation is based on this livelihood security in changing socio-economic life environment in Himachal Pradesh, India. Duration was 2011 to 2015, funded by Finnish Science Academy, executed by Department of Geography and Geology, University of Turku, Finland, and collaboration was University of Delhi, Himachal Pradesh University, Government College Chamba, and Department of Agriculture Sciences, University of Helsinki. Then my task was task 3, and the study area was Kangra Chamba district of Himachal Pradesh. The research design was exploratory and source data was primary and secondary. So focusing on this, this is the study area where the study has been conducted, and 4 sub-districts of my state has been taken for this study, and the number of panchayat study was 30, and number of villages was 73, and number of respondents was 200. It is a small state, Himachal Pradesh, situated in the northwestern Himalayas, Himalayas mountain, and these are the 2 study districts where this study has been conducted, and these are the Kangra district and Chamba district. So, as far as the occupational profile of the respondents are concerned, I'm just focusing on 2 main important things. There is a word written P. P means primary occupation, S means secondary occupation. And in all four research segments, traditionally, all peoples are using agriculture as their main primary occupation. What with the changing of time, some more small occupation like labor, trading, tuck shop, billing, fishing have been added, and shifting or addition in increasing their income at individual as well as family level, and which is providing more access to the amenities of life. Now, the farmers are sending their children to good school, colleges, professional courses with the hope of better future. So it is clear that respondents having more than one primary as well as secondary occupation. Uh, then, income profile of the respondent that has it has noticed that the respondent having one occupation, only the traditional occupation, if they are having, they do have less income, whereas the respondents who just are changing or using rather secondary occupation, they do have more income. So, because of the adoption of secondary occupation, there is a change in individual and family income. This further motivates people to shift from traditional cropping pattern to cash cropping. And as per this image is concerned, the respondents' low income groups are mostly having agriculture as their primary occupation, and which is totally insecure occupation, largely depend on climate conditions such as rain, monsoon, and is not secure fixed source of income. And maximum farmers are marginalized farmers using traditional way of farming with very less outcome, and now compelled to shift from traditional cropping to cash cropping, and now expected to have better income in the coming time. There are 2 compelling or dominant cropping pattern. One is Kharif and second one is Rabi. Kharif is dominated by maize, rice, bajra, ragi, small millets and fodder, whereas Rabi is dominated by wheat, barley, potato, oilseed, this gram and peas and pulses. So there is a shift as it is seen in this image. The maximum respondents are producing maize and wheat in Rabi in both cropping pattern traditionally, and now it is not the same in all agroclimatic zones because of geoclimatic reasons. The area falls in relatively cold zone. People used to grow maize, barley, pulses, and peas mostly as compared to the warm zone. They used to grow these crops for the last more than 50 years and has been the main ways to ensure food security. It can be stated that almost in all mountainous regions, the conditions may be almost the same. So there is a change, there is a shift in traditional cropping that has been noticed through this table, and it shows that there is a change. And this change is invariably so varied in some probes and as well as in some uh, study areas. So, what are the compelling forces which are threatening this traditional agricultural practices and which is a real threat to food security in study area? So there are some compelling forces like lack of good irrigation facilities, monsoon failure, excess rain and hailing, drought, excessive use of fertilizers, lack of good water management, small land holding, practice of monoculture, lack of good market for produce, overpopulations, monkey men and wild pigments, and lack of farmer-centric policy of the government. These are some challenges which are responsible just to change or compel farmers to change their traditional cropping, which is proving a real threat to this food security in the study area. So as far as along with this, the land use pattern has also changed. So because of all these compulsive forcing, people of the study area are shifting from traditional cropping to cash cropping, particular to the crop having more yield, particular to potato, peas, beans, fruits like apples and apricots. With good return, the lives of people have changed and now open new horizon and now they are capable to send their children as early said out of villages, out of area for higher education and also for some professional education. The traditional land use pattern is being replaced by the cash cropping and the decreased yield and sowing area for the traditional crop is resulting into a real threat to the food security. It is not the case with study area only, but same may be the similar mountainous ecosystem. So I'm just showing this is the picture where this farmer named Baldev Singh used to earlier earlier used to grow traditional crop. Now he shifted and see the result. And the result is he's producing presently 75 quintal means 100 kilogram potato in 5 acres of land, nuts around 1 quintal, 15 quintal beans in 1 vega, and 16 quintal tomato and 25 quintal cauliflower and cabbage. As evidence of huge change in traditional land use pattern, earlier he used to produce maximum 3 to 4 quintal maize or wheat in this piece of land, and which is comparatively very less in terms of early. Presently, he stopped traditional crops and shifted to cash crop. He replaced agriculture with apple orchard, 120 plants he planted and earning more than 50,000 per annum and he completely stopped sowing wheat in 2011 and now used to grow potato, cauliflower, cabbage, tomatoes, and French beans and peas. Another evidence is there. Is the view of land use pattern in Sunu village situated in the outer Chura research segment of Chamba district. And it has been observed during the study that only those farmers are changing their land use who use who are having more than 2 acre land. It is very important to mention over here only those farmers are changing or shifting from traditional cropping, those who are having more than 2 acre of land. And the marginal farmer having less than 1 acre land are unable to change as they have to ensure food for their family first. The economic condition of such families are same as it was in 2001. So, as far as conclusion of this whole presentation is concerned, providing food and nutrition security to the entire population needs some serious planning and effective implementations with a focus to retain the traditional protein pattern. The fact cannot be denied that climatic factors like increased Extreme rainfall will affect productivity by causing physiological changes. Farmers are compelled to shift to climate resilient crops presently, and climate change is also affecting soil fertility, increase in incidence of pests, non-availability of water, and will also impact on growth, animal husbandry as well as the fishery. Because of the impact of climate change, the yield of crop, fruit, vegetables has decreased or decreasing. Research on climate resilient varieties of wheat, mustards, fennel, chickpeas, and mung beans and groundnuts and soybeans is also under process in various institutions of Indian Council of Agriculture Research. In northwest Indian states of Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, and western UP, failing water level has posed the a need for modification of cropping pattern. Public distribution system in Himachal Pradesh is a big support which ensure food security and making food available to all people on ration basis. The moment it stops, it will be difficult to ensure food security because of many reasons, and climate change is undoubtedly one of them, one of the biggest reasons out of many others as mentioned in the previous slides. So, as a final comment is concerned, you can see on the right side, there's a map of India, vulnerability of agriculture in India. You can see Himachal is falling here, and Himachal is having very low to low, and then medium to high. And because Himachal is such a state uh, in India, mountainous state, and Chamba is only a district in India, as far as my knowledge is concerned, having five agroclimatic zones. And all zones are being affected because of these reasons. Agriculture is presently most vulnerable to climate change, and study area, as shown in the right map, is affecting differently. Even after winning decisive mandate, Indian government is still not confident of the directions of Indian agriculture. In the study area, the evidence of food insecurity has not been found overly because of government policies or public distribution system. But if we see from data perspective, it is being threatened as there is a detrimental decrease in the yield over the years, and farmer and government are not capable to cope it. The government must act according to the needs and aspirations of the farmer at local level, and policy must be framed after visiting farms and farmers in local areas, and it should local specific, not country specific, because every area has specific geomorphological characteristics, and same plan cannot be applied to all. With this, thank you very much for this encouragement and being with me. And first of all, now we have the last message is we all must have admit that climate change is everyone's responsibility, and it is now reality. And no agency, no government, no scientist, no researcher can fix it for us. We are all in this together, and we got there because of our lifestyle, and so our lifestyle has to change. And lastly, I'm just taking this privilege to just share with you all that Sociological Society Himachal Pradesh is organizing its second international conference with Grassroots Institute Canada as a collaborative partner. So you all are requested to be with us in this hybrid international conference starting from 28th October to 30 at Manali, which is the world famous tourist place. And the title is Transforming Asia, Development Tourism and Environment in Mountains. With this, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Slaria. Very informative presentation on climate change and food security linkages. Thank you so much.